Let's go down to the White House now. Our Washington correspondent Jonathan Kersley is there to bring it all together. President Trump warned Americans to prepare for military casualties, Jono, and that's what's happened.
That's exactly right, Pete. In that recorded message he sent from Mar-a-Lago almost 48 hours ago, President Trump warned the American population that with this major combat operation, Operation Epic Fury, American lives could be lost. And earlier today here in the United States, we heard that officially for the first time in this conflict, US lives have been lost. US Central Command releasing a statement that said 3 US service members have been killed in action and 5 are seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. It goes on to say, though, major combat operations continue and our response effort is ongoing. That major combat operation President Trump alluded to in a post on Truth Social not too long ago at all, in which he said, "We have destroyed and sunk 9 Iranian naval ships, some of them relatively large and important. We are going after the rest. They will soon be floating at the bottom of the sea also. In a different attack, we largely destroyed their naval headquarters." Clearly, President Trump is trying to show the positive sides and that America is well ahead. He has said as much in interviews with various US news outlets today. With Fox News, he claimed that 48 members of the Iranian leadership have been killed in just the first wave of strikes by the United States and Israel. We also are seeing not just Ali Khamenei, who was killed yesterday, but senior figures of the Iranian leadership have now been named. Among those killed, not only Ali Khamenei, but members of his family too. And Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran, also among the fatalities now in this conflict. The United States and Israel really trying to strike at the very heart of the regime itself. Let's hear now from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and then Iran's foreign minister as well.
We are in a campaign in which we are bringing the full force of the IDF as never before to ensure our existence and our future. But we are also bringing into this campaign the assistance of the United States, my friend, US President Donald Trump, and the US military. And this combination of forces enables us to do what we have long hoped to do for 40 years, to strike the terror regime decisively.
Obvious that this assassination would make this confrontation more complicated and even more dangerous. It is absolutely unprecedented and a big violation of international law that a leader of another country is assassinated by foreign forces.
Back to the president, Jono. He remains optimistic that the deadly strike on Khamenei could actually lead to better talks with Iran.
Pete, that's right. He alluded to this yesterday in some of his statements he posted to Truth Social, and in an interview with The Atlantic, he has said, "They want to talk and I have agreed to talk, so I will be talking to them. They should have done it sooner. They should have given what was very practical and easy to do sooner. They waited too long." Even that, as Oman's foreign minister said, around about 72 hours or so, he was hopeful that things were moving in the right direction. He seemed to suggest that there were signs that Iran was conceding on key ground when it came to nuclear enrichment. But then we saw the waves of these strikes and the retaliation from Iran. Inside Israel, the Iranian missile fell inside Tel Aviv. We've also seen the deadly strike on Beit Shemesh, at least 9 people dead there. The security minister, Ben Gvir, paying a tribute, a visit to that site there. Israel has continued its onslaught inside Tehran, the IDF releasing its own vision of the strikes it has been carried out. But here domestically, there are still significant questions that will be aimed at the president when he returns to Washington, D.C. later on tonight. Democrats are still concerned that Congress was bypassed, that this was an act of war, that it should have gone before them. Interestingly, here on the Sunday morning shows today, no appearances so far from Trump administration officials. Obviously, they are waiting for the American commander-in-chief to say what he needs to say today. And I reckon we may well hear from him on board Air Force One as he makes his way back from Palm Beach here to the nation's capital later on. But this is what one Democrat, Chris Coons, had to say earlier today.
I can understand the president taking a bold gamble, but I disagree with this gamble at this moment, because I do think, according to the Omani foreign minister, that the Iranian regime, the weakest it's been in years, was actually making real concessions.
We have seen Iranians take to the streets in New York City today. I can also hear a fairly vocal protest taking place here in Washington, D.C. itself as the president prepares to make his way back here. When he does so, we will obviously bring that to you. But you can expect that in the coming hours, Pete, as this conflict continues.
We'll keep an eye out for that. Jonathan Kersley, thank you so much.